beach to Moscow, from the place where East meets West, from the bicameral fissure of the global mind, from the Eastern Bloc to American rock. Welcome to At This Moment on freedomslips.com. And we're breathing. Are you ready? One in and one out. One through the nose, out through the mouth. If you don't have a clogged up nose, are you ready? Welcome to the show, everyone. I'm Angela Black. This is At This Moment 2014, and you are listening to the number one 100% listener-supported radio station, talk radio, that is, on the net, Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com. So I'm here today with a wonderful guest. Sometimes I do the news. Sometimes I have a guest. Whatever it is, it depends on the day, it depends on the thing, and I have been lucky enough to reconnect with Chris Kehler today, and we had did an interview when I had a show back in the day, and Chris has been basically very busy doing quantum healing cool stuff, and so we're going to get into it a little bit. I'm going to do a bio, but before I get into all of that, we're just going to jump right in and just let you all know that you're going to be listening to me, Angela Black, with my guest Chris Kehler today here on the show. So without further ado, Chris Kehler, welcome to the show.
Hi, Angela. Thank you for having me back on.
Oh, thanks so much for joining me. I'm pleased to have you. Great to talk again.
Well, welcome back. We missed you, Angela.
Thanks very much. Well, I missed you too, and I missed me too. Yeah, I needed a break, and it happened, and then I got back, and it's funny. A lot of people, they go on their way and they do their things, but I always find myself back here at my favorite family, which is Revolution Radio. freedomslips.com. So I just want to say hello to everyone in the chat room. We've got a very, very active chat, and just want to let you all know that if you have questions for Chris today as we get into the interview, etc., that I would be happy to pose them to him. And after we get into a little bit of the history of what Chris is doing with some great healing techniques, etc., then we might be able to take a call. I'm not sure at this point. We will see how much time we have. So time, whatever that thing is. All right. Now, just a quick, I'm going to give them a quick bio of you, Chris, if you don't mind.
Please.
Chris Kehler is a quantum energy practitioner healer who specializes in finding the trouble areas in the body and the stressors within that area by using the pendulum and chart method of dowsing. Is that how you say it, dowsing?
Exactly.
All right. So after working 30 years in a completely different business, which was the newspaper printing industry, you retired in 2007, and a door opened for you, Chris Kehler, that is, we're talking about. And that's, by the way, everyone, chriskehler.net. That's CHRIS. KEHLER.net. So if you want to look that up, I also posted it into the chat, and we'll do so again very shortly. As a matter of fact, I'll do that right now. Hold on. I've got it pulled up, copy, paste, so that everyone can figure out exactly what we're talking about here. Moving on. So after working 30 years in one of those fields, you retired in 2007, and a door opened for you, which would basically lead you into the world of energy healing, realizing that your intuitive nature was more than just coincidence. Chris, yourself, began taking courses in many different modalities, and we're talking about great success in certification in dowsing, which is the pendulum, radionics, healing, metaphysical tools, quantum touch, muscle testing, which is applied kinesiology, and foot bath detox and live blood analysis, which are really, talk about a comprehensive, health, view into somebody's person, to try to find what's going on. I find it very impressive because sometimes, I talk to people and I go through my own health things, etc., and am I saying et cetera? I'm trying to say et cetera. I find that there's so many different things going on that if you've got all of that to your repertoire, then I think that you're looking at what's called comprehensive healing, and I think that's incredibly important. So quantum, yes, comprehensive at the same time, which might be a lower form of that word. I'm not sure, but anyway, just to finish up this wonderful bio, you have learned very quickly that when working with universal energies, one must not think just outside the box, but way outside the box. And by this you mean all possibilities need to be considered when working with a person's ill health. Not only are things like viruses and infections tested for, but off-the-wall possibilities like entities, aliens, demons, karmic debts, and how well your body is grounded to the earth. These are all things that are considered. And after the problem area and stressors have been located, the frequencies of the stressors can be neutralized with the use of crystalline metaphysical tools and radionics. With this protocol, it is possible for pains and ailments to be alleviated within a short period of time. Chris's work, by the way, everyone, we're talking about Chris Kehler here, my guest on the show today on At This Moment with myself, Angela Black. Chris's work has become a worldwide phenomenon in energetic and remote distance healing as he works with anyone and everyone in the entire world via Skype and telephone, which has gained him and his practice worldwide notoriety. So that is the intro for Chris. And it's funny, I've actually got some people that are wonderful people that are practicing Reiki on me remotely, and that's pretty cool as well. And I think that's something I might ask you in a little bit. Any comments before I get into some of these questions?
You talked about doing the two different types of comprehensive modalities, the energy stuff and then the live blood analysis type stuff. It's really important to have your mind set on working on the spiritual and the physical when you're looking at a health problem. That is one thing I do kind of pride myself on is I look at both ends. So you got one way of looking at things psychically with a pendulum, and you've got the live blood analysis, which really helps to look at a different tangible way of things. They really complement each other. They do.
That's terrific. All right. Well, now, we actually did a session one time back when I was just leaving radio, et cetera, and I did find that it was very interesting. You had tuned into some, entities that had been, kind of, they had in the past been busy putting spells on me and this type of thing, and I do know exactly the two individuals that we were talking about, but I didn't tell you that beforehand, and you have these very interesting, like kind of sort of sacred geometry devices that are very effective, I guess. And you seem to be able to locate, these particular ailments, entities, demons, whatever, and which is I think so incredibly important and also very impressive because I didn't tell you about them, and you went right in, and I knew exactly what you were talking about when we did a little work on me. A few, what is it? It was at least a year ago.
It was about a year ago, a year and a half. So yeah.
Yes. So, and once again, we are on Studio B, everyone. Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. Just want to let you know that if you're missing this show, we will have an archive available on our YouTube station, which is called youtube.com/Talk Revolution Radio. Once again, it's chriskehler.net, and that's I put it in the chat. So it's CHRISKEHLER.net. Now, I've got some questions for you. First question, of course, you were in the printing industry for 30 some odd years, and in 2007, all of a sudden, you switched up. But how did you get into this line of work?
Well, the old saying goes, one door closes, another door opens. 2007, my first wife passed away. She had a rare disease called scleroderma. I was in the printing trade at the time. Unfortunately, she passed away, but that left me in a position where I could make a decision for myself. And at 46, I stopped working. So there's a door closing. The door opening is literally, I was walking in my mall, and I saw an open door in a store, saw a sign that said, foot bath detox, muscle testing. So I looked at it, and I said to myself, I think I'm supposed to go in there. So sure enough, I go in the store, start talking to the guy who runs the place, and did a few of these foot bath detoxes with him. Long story short, he introduces me to people. I took an interest in this, catch on really quick. And a few years later, I've got people knocking on my door. I hear you can cure people of diabetes. I hear you can cure people of asthma. Let me in. I want you to help me. I saw it as a really good opportunity to make a business out of it, to help people along the way. And here I am today. I'm in a healthcare clinic in Winnipeg called the Cascai Holistic Healthcare Center. I come here 5 days a week, Monday to Friday, 10 hours a day, work with people on the phone, work with people on Skype, have people in my office, and all over the world, from Kuwait to Australia to Winnipeg. We work on everybody and anybody.
That is so cool. The wonder of the internet is that it can be used for good.
Yes.
And then for that matter, just the remote, healing situation, which I'm finding, effective. I mean, I'm a big case. I've got a lot of, things that have built up over the years, et cetera. And I don't think I'm alone. I think there are so many of us that have such comprehensive health issues, especially with what's going on with the poisoning in the skies and the crap in the food that we eat and this type of thing. So, a lot of us are, and then obviously with entities, this type of thing. I mean, those are completely real, obviously not just to me, but in general, I don't know why anyone would discount that. So it's very interesting that you've taken it to this level. And I had a friend who had a foot bath detox spa thing. I have a foot bath. It's not one of the ones with what is it, copper coil sometimes they use. Yeah, I don't have that, but I do know that the largest pores are in the feet. Exactly. And so sometimes I'll just put in some peppermint oil or something like that, and I do always feel so much better when I soak my feet, etc. But yeah, the foot bath detox. I know a girl who literally they basically looked at a moving slug that had come out of a person's feet.
Yeah, parasites will come out for sure.
Yeah, well there was a parasite once, but then there was a slug also. It had calibrated itself, and they touched it and it moved, and I can't even, it just freaks me out. I mean, so what is the most interesting part of your vocation that you find today that still freaks you out, because you do so much work with so many people on so many levels?
There's really not much that freaks me out anymore. Of course, removing out certain entities from people can be very interesting, of course. Entity is a very, very big part of any kind of health problem, especially demonic. Anything dark and demonic is within us all. Yeah. It's just to what degree and how is it affecting you and how does it want you to affect you. The things that do freak me out a little bit is when you do exorcism type work and there's actually somebody on the ground writhing, growling and hissing and calling you very, very bad names. That is a little bit freakish at times, of course. The way that I do my work, I don't get affected by it. A lot of people who do this type of work, the entity may go into them as they pull it out, but because of the tools I use and the intent I use, I don't get affected at all. The only thing that really does kind of freak me out a bit is the full-blown exorcism type work. And
that's very interesting you say that. I actually have a story where I basically performed an exorcism on an individual, and I mean the thing was growling at me, and it came out and it was snarling and growling. Now I was immune to sucking it into my own system, but I was not effective in pulling the thing out completely. Like, I brought it to the surface, but it went back inside. Mm-hmm. I mean, I wasn't prepared by any means, but it was just this weird, impromptu exorcism that I performed on somebody, and I have no idea why, but I know exactly what you're talking about, and it is super freaky to watch, said human turn into snarling, writhing, gurgling, individual. It is very weird, so yeah. I wasn't trained, you know what I mean? So I have a strong personality, and I have that type of power, but I am not trained it, and I don't believe that I was able to pull the entity completely out, just bring it to the surface. But okay, explain how your particular form of healing works.
It's a two-part system. It starts all the time with my pendulum and my charts, and the charts are something that I've developed myself so I can understand them, so my spirit guides can go right into them and know exactly what's on the charts. So I'll just start asking questions like, where's the most resistance within this person's body? It'll tell me let's say the person's got a lot of pain in their legs. Uh-huh. So it'll tell me, well, look in the cardiovascular system. So I'll look there, it'll say a deep femoral artery. And then I'll ask, what is causing resistance? And it'll tell me something like calcium or iron buildup within the cardiovascular system. So once you know those two things, Then I go to the second part, which is using the tools and my intent. The intent is very important. And what the tools do, they work in two ways. They work, number one, as an antenna for quantum energy to come in, and they work as an amplifier for that quantum energy. That's why they're so powerful. That's why they're so beneficial to use. The tools do all the work. I just make the intent and hold the tools. That's the beautiful thing about it. I can do this 10 hours a day, 5 days a week, go home and play with my kids all night, no problem. So that is the basis of it. When you get into really tough things, people who have possession, people who have problems, for 20 years and nobody's been able to find the problem, and when you start digging and looking deeper into the energy of the person, into the aura, and into the physical part, into the chakra system, and find all these little things that connect the dots and make everything a whole problem, that's the I guess, test of how good a healer can be, is to how can you find the problem by going through all the doors, nooks and crannies to really see it and find it.
Okay, yeah. So, and then I'm looking at these devices that you have. I don't know if you call them devices, antennas, what they are. But now, do you build those, or who builds those? And they're these wire constructs of different looks like very geometric shapes that seem to be able to pull.
Right.
Pull energy, and for that matter, radiate correctly. So where did you acquire these things? Did you build them?
No, these are built by my tool maker, and this fellow, his name is Wayne. The company is called Crystalline Incorporated. He's in Alberta, Canada. He builds the wire pyramids and all the other sacred geometry type rings and other tools that I use.
Uh-huh.
He sells them worldwide. I sell them on my website. Anybody can use them and buy them. I take them to another level by adding crystals and magnets and other sacred geometry items to the pyramid to increase its energy and to make it work better for me. So you can personalize these things a little bit by placing organite or whatever you want within them. But these tools, anybody can get them. I met this guy through another colleague. Him and I have been working extremely well together. He gives me a lot of information about what I need to know. Himself, he's very, very highly energetic. His main job is to clear out the earth grid of all of these aliens and negative entities and all this negative energy in order the earth can ascend into the fifth dimension consciousness that is right here before us right now.
Wow. That's a heavy statement. It's true, though. I mean, we are here right now, and so many of us are blinded by almost I would go with at least two dimensions. I mean, so many of us are stuck in the third dimension, and even a few of us are stuck in the second dimension. I mean, it's a very flat place. It's a flat Earth almost, and that type of thing. And when one looks at quantum, it is so it's just so. To me, it's simple, but yet at the same time, it's very mind-boggling. And I watch the zombies, in the daytime. I don't go out much at night anymore because there are more zombies at night. But I stay away, from a lot of zombies, and I have that soul that absorbs, this type of thing. I mean, I reflect, but I also absorb. If I'm not ready, if I walk out into that world and I'm not ready, then I because I'm such an open soul, I find that if I'm not careful, I'm susceptible to so many things. As when we were looking into my own soul and that type of thing, I had absorbed some major stuff in the past, and we didn't get a chance to work together a lot at that time because I did jump out for a year. But I found that we were bringing some things to the surface, which I found very interesting, and maybe again we can work together. Chris Kehler has services available to everyone, which I also want to bring up really quickly. If you go to chriskehler.net, again, that's KEHLER .net, and that's, of course, Chris, CHRIS, you'll find testimonials, products, services, contact information, about, and this type of thing. You can find yourself with a Skype session or many Skype sessions, this type of thing. And when I called Chris right before the show, just to check in. He was sitting with clients, so he also goes local. So it's not just worldwide, which is it's so funny that I'm putting it that way, but it's not just local, but it is also worldwide. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, it's not just worldwide, it's also local. Chris finds himself sitting down with people and really just getting in touch with that whole thing. And the fact that you're able to reflect it and not absorb it, Chris, I think is so impressive. I think that's shows a true I hate to use wordology and this type of thing, but a true testament to your soul and the strength that you have, because there's light in you, coming out of you, this type of thing. And I don't find that you are at risk for absorbing these types of entities, and that's something that's very impressive to me right there.
The odd time something will come in. When I did do an exorcism once, I had to keep clearing myself as I did the work because it was very strong. And ultimately, if I do get something, I just get rid of it. I've got the abilities to do it. So a lot of people can't work on themselves. I can work on myself, and that in itself is a bit of a testament. The old saying, "Healer, heal thyself." If you can heal yourself, you can heal other people, and I'm able to do this with my protocol.
Wow, that's amazing. All right, so now let's see, what health problems does your modality of energy fix?
You name it.
Yeah, it's off the top of your head.
The big thing right now is a lot of cardiovascular issues. People have got low energy, heart problems in the veins and arteries. And I do deal with that a lot, and quite often, 90% of the time, it's going to be a calcium buildup within our bodies. Calcium or iron, generally it's calcium. And what I'm finding is that calcium, it is a big part in our bones and teeth and our structure of our bodies, but if there's too much of it in our body, or your body isn't absorbing it properly without the proper nutrients like silica, it's going to build up in different areas. It's going to build up in your veins and arteries. If it builds up in your muscles, you're going to get muscle cramping. If it builds up in your brain, then you're going to have migraines. So I've been working a lot with removing calcium. Now I'm finding a big correlation lately with calcium and diabetes. You have people who eat extremely healthy, but their blood sugars are still at 16 and they're really high. The big question is, how can a person who's eating really healthy and is in good shape still have high blood sugars? And what I'm finding is if there's calcium within their blood system, when they take the measurement, they're getting a false measurement. Today I'm taking some calcium home. I'm going to test it with a blood strip and see what the reading is. So that is one big thing that I work with now. So that's a physical problem. And when it comes to the spiritual problems, there's a lot of people who are going through depressions, a lot of people going through bad luck, a lot of people going through times in their life that are just really disruptive. And no matter what they do, it's always a negative thing. I work within the soul. What I do for a lot of people who are going through depressions and just low periods is to connect their soul to their well of souls, which is in the hypothalamus in their brain. Once you connect that, then you connect the person to their soul, and all of a sudden things are a lot lighter, things are a lot better. This works really good for anybody who's had a serious concussion. You take a big blow to the head, that's going to rattle something loose.
Yeah.
So when you make those connections, it really brings things together so that the person can heal a lot better.
Wow. Now, let's see. What do I have here in front of me? I've got this very interesting comment that says you're doing mass live healing. You can do mass live healing for physical issues with energy tools at some point. During the show, that's a possibility. But then also, you and I were talking about this last year. Do you do that on a regular basis? Do you offer live mass healing?
So people can feel the energy off of these tools, and you feel it. This is a powerful energy, very subtle but powerful. So what I do is I'm going to take my large pyramid, it's a 5-tier pyramid, hold it up to the microphone, give it some intent to do a mass healing. Whoever's listening to this show, you're going to feel some tingling go on with your body. Now, there have been times, there's shows I've done where people have called in a week later to the show and said, I listened to that show, all of a sudden my arthritis went away, all of a sudden my tinnitus went away, all of a sudden I can walk because my heel has been giving me so many troubles. So it does work. It's not this big miracle that's going to happen. It's something that if your body takes it in and uses it, it's going to make an adjustment. So we can do that whenever you want.
Sure, we could get to that maybe in the next 15 minutes or something like that. We'll go toward the or I don't know how long it takes, but we could do that now, or we could do that in a little while. Do you want to do it?
It takes 20 seconds.
Wow, 20 seconds. That's crazy. Okay, so we might as well chat a little bit more. Apparently, it's people are well, you have return clients. Let's put it that way. I mean, people are showing back up and finding that it's not a one-time process. It could be. I mean, if I recall correctly, sometimes it's a one-time process.
It can be.
In general, I think work is important always, focus between not only the healer but the healee, if you will, or the person being healed. I don't know if healee is an actual word. I made it up. It was good. I just find that, and I actually was looking forward to doing that a little bit more with you. But again, I had jumped out of radio completely and just got off the net for like a year. And I really needed that. I really needed to be gone for a while because I give a lot, that type of thing. And as do you. So I know that you have a new family sprouting, and you have a couple of youngsters, and then your new wife and that type of thing. So for you to be able to separate, is really impressive to me as well. Because sometimes the come down for me, just from a show, is something that is very difficult to, just really decompress from.
Thankfully for me, I've got a half-hour ride home, so I can process the day. And then when I get home, my wife says, "How was your day?" She says, "Do you really want to know?" She goes, "That's okay. The baby's changing. Go change the baby."
Yeah, go change the baby.
So I take one hat off and put on another. No
Wipe
problem.
some excrement. That's cool. Yeah, so a half-hour drive. Those things can be nice. It depends. Up here right now we have this, I wouldn't say terrible. It's a wonderful construction project, about $100 million I think they're spending on this mountain that I live on. And we have to wait 25 minutes just to get out of our street because they have the one lane thing going and they've got the pilot car. So if you can appreciate your 30-minute drive, then congratulations, because sometimes I get very frustrated with that.
Well, this is Winnipeg. There's only 1 million people. You take the perimeter around the city and there's nobody with you, so it's beautiful.
Nice. So it's that's good. Now let's see what else. How are the spiritual entities affecting human health? How common is this? How did you come to observe this on entity intervention? I know I'm jumping all over a little. So if you'd rather go in a different direction, that's fine.
No. The spiritual nature of a health problem is extremely important. So, of course, working with the pendulum, you're working with your spirit guides, and they know things that you don't. So they're going to lead you in directions and help you to find things and spell things out for you a little bit. The whole spirit thing, there's a few different levels of it. Let's call it level 1, which is just somebody who died. Their spirit is still on the earth. They haven't gone into the light. They wander around and they look for somebody to attach onto so that they can get your energy, live off of it, and enjoy life a little bit. When a spirit gets into your body for a given amount of time, your body is smart. It knows something is there that's not supposed to be, so it starts giving you signals like pain or disruption, depending on where that spirit is. So it's very important to know how to get that spirit out. And ultimately, it's just like shooing away a fly. You just find it, tell it to leave, go to the light, and it'll go to the light. There's a level 2 spirit, let's call it, which is like a poltergeist. This is a spirit that wants to get in your body and cause disruption. Guys have a dark past. When they were alive, they did dark things. They weren't very nice people, and they want to continue the same type of thing that they do when they get into your body. Now, these types of poltergeists, they can also be controlled by people doing black magic and voodoo. So if somebody is let's say has your picture and they want to cast a spell on you, when they make the intent, whatever spirit is within your body is going to carry out that intent.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
All about it.
Yeah. So that is something that is very real. Voodoo and black magic, witchcraft, shamanic spells are all extremely real to different extents. A voodoo spell can be as simple as somebody thinking negative about you. Think about something simple, like you've had a breakup with somebody, and all of a sudden you want to have some fun with somebody. All of a sudden, your stuff doesn't work. For guys, it's like death. things don't go so well in the bedroom. All of a sudden, you're going through this issue where it's like, well, something's wrong. You go to the doctor, he gives you Cialis or something, and everything's fine. But ultimately, the person you broke up with can be thinking negatively about you, not wanting you to be with anybody else, and it'll affect you that way. Same goes with almost any other type of problem. If all of a sudden you're going through time in your life where nothing good happens, you lose your job, you lose this, you lose that, all kinds of bad things are happening, that could be a negative thought voodoo spell on you. Okay?
Yes, yes. And then if they're actually practiced, I mean, where there's actual ritual going on, it's even deeper.
Oh, yeah. I've got a client in Florida, and she knows that her ex-boyfriend's mother practiced voodoo and black magic. She had 15 kids from 15 different men, used 3 of the babies for sacrifices.
Oh my God.
I've got her picture and a sample of her hair in my office, and I'm trying to stop her abilities to do all this work. I'm trying to send her peace and love and trying to stop her from doing this. And it causes huge problems within your health and within your life. From one end to the other, just a negative subconscious thought to somebody actually practicing it is another big thing. Now you can get spirits who are practicing this, so you can't even find them sometimes. So it goes to all these different levels. So there's a spirit end of things. Now you go into the ET aspect of a health problem. There's gray aliens, reptilian aliens, archons, Tiazi, demonic stuff, the devil, Caleb, Beelzebub, all these different things are here, and they do cause problems. I had somebody in my office who had pain in their right abdomen for 20 years. They took out her uterus. They took out her gallbladder. They did other surgeries. The pain would not go away. She came in my office in 2 sessions. I removed Lucifer. First of all, the first session, I removed him from the ascending colon, and then she looked at me with these big wide eyes and says, the pain just moved to the other side of my body. And it's always been in one spot for 20 years. I looked at her and says, the game is afoot. We are chasing somebody. So I tracked them down, got rid of them. Immediately the pain was gone. So the whole demonic Lucifer, Satan, the devil thing, it exists. It is there. It is dark energy that is used by all these people with the dark side. They draw upon it. Just as I draw upon energy from God and the universe and all the white light, there's people who draw upon the negative.
I was going to say, if you've got a sample of her hair, and what else did you say you had?
A picture.
Her name? Oh, picture. I mean, so you're basically practicing, reverse.
Reverse voodoo,
Yeah, reverse voodoo, yeah. So that's super interesting because, I know about voodoo. I know. I mean, I don't know. I haven't studied or anything like that, but I've been a victim, of ritual spells and satanic rituals and spells and voodoo and all this kind of stuff from a couple of different people at least. I mean, that I know of. And so it's very interesting because I do feel it, and I know that I have light in me and et cetera. But it is something that I think does need assistance, help, that type of thing. And if you when did you finally come up with your label for your said vocation, quantum energy healer? When did you find out that you were that? I mean, it was a foot bath at beginning.
Yeah, it was full foot bath and then muscle testing and working with herbs and supplements. I discovered using the pendulum, and it just brought, that brought me to another level. Doing other things brought me to the next level. Did more research on the type of work I'm doing from other people, and learned it's this quantum energy. The quantum energy, the scientists will call it 0-point energy or the God particle. This is God energy. This is God consciousness. The quantum energy actually has consciousness. When you make an intent and you hold a pyramid over somebody's head, this quantum energy goes in and makes the adjustments. It neutralizes all the frequencies. So the consciousness is there at a quantum level. That's where the word quantum comes in. Quantum means the smallest immeasurable amount of anything.
Okay. See, and to me, quantum also is kind of a spiraling, infinite. Infinite, growth of energy. That's what I see as quantum.
Sure.
It's you've got your contained energy. Quantum is something to me that it just continues to, spread and spread and spread and spiral out into into a very large situation. I mean, that's how I see it personally. I mean, I'm not an expert, etc. And I did have another comment. Oh, yeah. Now, a lot of what you're doing, I don't know much about Dr. Fred Bell, but I'm assuming, because I know that I have a friend who used to work for Dr. Fred Bell, and there's a lady who is his daughter, who is a sponsor for another show on this network, Megan Bell, and so she has taken her father's inventions, and she has her website, and she does similar selling of particular pyramid type things and that type of thing. Do you know much about Dr. Fred Bell? Do you find he was an inspiration for you? Interesting.
All my inspirations are strictly from what I work with. Don't read anybody. I don't talk to anybody. If somebody says, "Oh, you got to listen to this guy," I says, "No, I don't."
Well, he passed away.
Okay.
But he had pyramid type wiring that people will wear on their heads, etc. To kind of take away energies that happen from the internet and bad energies in general. So I just wondered if you were familiar with him at all, because the pyramid it seems to be so important, and I keep looking at your picture, and I see this awesome wired pyramid thing in your Skype photo, and it is amazing. So I just wondered. So what's that thing next to it? It looks like a ball, but I don't know what that one is.
This is a new tool, and these are not for sale. That only certain practitioners, that the guy who makes them feels who can work with them, they'll get them. This is called Vesica Pisces. What it facilitates is the coming in of the new female energy into the planet. For eons, it's been a masculine energy governing over the planet. And just lately, the last, I think, a year or so, the energy changed to a feminine energy. And this tool represents that. And it has specific types of work we do with it. I use it for removing anything demonic, and it works really well for that.
It's like an egg almost. It looks like an egg.
If you really look at it, it's two pyramids with the bases soldered together and some wires around it. That's the basis of it. And Vesica Pisces is a sacred geometry. If you do some research on it, it contains circles and all the basic geometry within the world. And when you put it together like this, and with the metals it's made of, and the intent it has within it, you can do a lot of things with it.
So they look very male and female, to unfortunately qualify on a plane that is probably way too trite. But there are different energies that are coming from these two wonderful pieces of I don't know if I'd call them equipment, or what would I call these items?
They're tools. They're hardware.
Tools.
They're bright and shiny. Yeah.
Now there are things that you have for sale on your website, and I wanted to bring that up again. ChrisKehler.net. I'm going to repost this in the chat. A lot of people are on Studio A right now talking about the Bundy Ranch, by the way, which is very interesting. So we have two studios here on Revolution Radio, but the beauty is that everyone can catch the archives. So I will definitely get you the archive. We have them always available on our YouTube channel. Plus, it's on my Facebook every day. We have a wonderful girl named Mona who posts each of my shows on my Facebook page. So we'll be able to utilize that for your own website as well. Beautiful. And that type of thing. But okay, so I put the link in the chat again, and let's go to, should I go to products or services? What do you think I should hit?
Go to products.
Yeah, let's go to products. Okay, because there's some very interesting stuff. So first I'm looking at the, how do you say it? Shungite?
Shungite. Shungite is a almost newly discovered type of healing crystal or stone from Russia.
Okay.
A lot of really cool properties within that. You can use it within water. You can use it as a pyramid, as a pendant. They really help to absorb EMF and ELF frequencies. So if you've got it around your computer, it'll keep all these stray frequencies from entering your body. It'll absorb them. It works almost like carbon. They sell very, very good. A lot of people are looking for it. A lot of people are researching shungite. The nice thing is with the water stones, you put them in the water, it's going to absorb all of the garbage out of your water. It's going to add all the nutrients your body needs. It's also going to add some specific healing energy energies into the water. So you're making very clear, pure, healing water with it.
I came across a stone similar in at least claim that was called angelite, and that was discovered as well. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but it looks similar. So let me ask a question: how much does one get for their order with the shungite?
Basically, I sell them in 200-gram packages, and that's enough to treat about a quart of water. So if you bought 2 of those packages, you could have pitchers of water on the go, and you can take from one and have the other to charge. Generally, it takes a good 3 days to completely charge the water with shungite. So if you have one sitting, you can drink from another one.
And then, can you reuse the stones, or do they dissolve? Or
the stones are good for about 6 to 8 months. If you have a crystalline neutralization ring, you can even have them last even longer. So by clearing out the energies from the stones, they'll last longer. But generally 6 to 8 months is pretty good.
Okay,
they won't dissolve. They just sit there.
Okay, right. Okay, so that's great. Yeah, I just started using that angelite, but I wasn't really familiar with shungite yet. So now the crystalline sun ring is the next thing on the list. And you were just talking about that being something that can re-energize the...
Yeah, there's 2 rings that are on my website that sell extremely well. One is the sun ring, and the other is the neutralization ring. The neutralization ring is a ring with tines that point inward, and when you stand over it, it pulls negative energy out of your body, and you actually feel things happening. You'll feel heaviness in your legs. You might feel really off balance. You'll feel tingling. You'll feel things happening. That's the beautiful thing about these tools. They work so well. You actually feel something happening.
Wow.
So whenever you use the neutralization ring, you use that first to clear your body out of just this general guck of negative energy that you pick up on a daily basis. And then the sun ring, that's the exact same thing as the neutralization ring, but it has a gold coating. The neutralization ring has a platinum coating. The sun ring tines face outward, so it is a broadcaster of energy. The sun ring is really cool. Now take, let's say, intent, or let's say you take vitamin D on a daily basis. If you put that vitamin D pill within the sun ring, put 2 fingers from either hand within that sun ring, your body's going to absorb the energy of that pill. So when you take the pill, it absorbs much better and does a much better job when you take it.
Wow.
So you can do anything with the sun ring. If you make the intent, remove my headache, put it in the sun ring, and then put your fingers in there. Your headache will go away. If you have pain in your body, you put the sun ring over the pain. It'll help the pain to go away. It's not going to make it go completely away, but it's going to help a lot. So these sun rings have a lot of different purposes. You can charge your food with them. Just put their food over top of the ring. It'll give this energy. It's not the heat of the sun, it's the energy of the sun. Okay. So that's the basis of it. But you can give them intent just like any of the other tools. You give intent, it'll do what your intent is given.
I think that's so important that you say that. We have a couple of health individuals that have that are hosts of shows here on Revolution Radio, and the word intent has really become quite prominent. When a keyword shows up and everybody starts saying it a lot. And I mean, it's odd because intent has been around for years, of course. I mean, thousands of years, etc. But the fact that you're talking about intent right now with these particular items is very important because I believe in that. I really do. So, all right, we've also got your triple pyramid with sun ring and then a 7-inch single pyramid. So these are other items that, people can purchase, which I just find these also cool. And, what do you do? Like, do you just keep them around the house? Like, where do you put them? Like, what do you do?
The triple pyramid is pretty cool. That's the basis of the big pyramid that I use. My big pyramid is a triple with a double on top of it with crystals mounted in it. If you take the triple pyramid, now why a triple pyramid? If you look at the base of it, you'll see the Star of David. That is another sacred geometry aspect of it.
Interesting.
Yeah, the pyramid itself is one aspect, and the sacred geometry of the Star of David is another. So what a lot of people will do with this pyramid is it's light enough that you can hang it from the ceiling over your bed and just sleep under it.
Okay, there you go. That's what I was wondering. Like, where do I put it? You know what I mean? Like,
so you can do that. Now, if you're somebody who's intuitive and you're into doing different energy work and healing, when you take that pyramid, hold the base of it towards somebody and say the words, neutralize, eliminate the bacterial infection in the liver. Boom, it's gone.
wow.
That's exactly the way that I use it. That's the way that anybody can use it. So that is the basis of it. When you add a sun ring into it, it just gives it more versatile energy to broadcast.
Broadcast, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Okay, I follow. I follow. Okay, so now, so then you had the single pyramid, which we're getting short on time. So what's the crystalline beamer with shungite?
The beamer is another intended energy tool. It works a little differently in the fact that within the beamer there's energies of the 5 noble gases, which noble means they don't mix with anything. Helium, argon, krypton.
So what is it, like a laser, or?
It's pretty much like a laser. It shoots a very narrow beam of energy out through it, and you can actually feel the energy. If you put it close to your hand, you'll feel a cool wisp of energy coming out of it. So when you hold it up, let's say you got a sore knee, you hold it up to the knee, and you can use it with pinpoint accuracy, like a laser, to get into certain areas, and you just say the words, give it intent, tell it what to do, it'll do it.
Oh, well, that sounds pretty awesome as well. Now let's see what else we have. Some energy bracelets is the last thing that I'm looking at on the shopping list here on your website, chriskehler.net. And so, what's a quantum point technology energy bracelet?
Well, Quantum Point Technology is one of the companies I've developed to market the bracelets that I make. The bracelets are just a silicone bracelet with a hologram within it.
And you were bringing up silicone earlier.
So these bracelets are very good for holding a frequency. So when I use my radionics, which is working with frequencies, I can charge these bracelets with a specific frequency. So the ones that work really good are ones for sleep. So if you have trouble sleeping at night, or waking up, you wear one of these bracelets. Yeah, you wear one of these bracelets, and you sleep like a baby. I got people who can't live without them.
Like a baby. Yes. Like a baby. I have so much trouble sleeping, and so does everyone these days. Well, not everyone, but so many people.
Lots of people do.
Everyone's talking about it. Everyone. So
yeah, the bracelet really helps to slow down the anxiety that goes on when your head is spinning 1,000,000 miles an hour. That helps to slow that down so you can relax and sleep.
It's better than pharmaceuticals. You know what I mean?
Oh, much better. Yeah. Wow. And I also make bracelets for other things too. Another big one is female hormone balancer.
Oh my gosh, I'm so signing up. And it's funny because I'm in my mid-40s and I'm noticing, a difference and this type of thing. So it's amazing. You have really grown just in the past year, even, and that we have, when we last communicated. But in general, so you've been doing this for about, let's see, 7 years,
about 7 years,
something like that, yeah. And so, just in the last year, you've gone quantum, and then also, just in your own development, and then also you were recently blessed with a new baby.
Yes.
Which is exciting, and so there's so much great energy going on there because I know you and your significant other. I'm not sure if she's your wife or not or whatever. But then do you have 2 young kids? Is that correct?
Yeah, my son is 2.5. My daughter's 3 months.
Wow!
Yeah.
So you've got so much fun stuff happening, and the positivity of that, and the fact that you're great parents, and then you get to live that thing and do it right. It gives me. I'm actually goosebumping right now. It's so great because literally the place that you're coming from is just absolutely. It's light. It's brilliant. It's
pure.
So all right. We have 2-3 minutes left. I don't know if you wanted to do that massive.
Yeah, let's do this now. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this pyramid, hold it up to the microphone, and I'm going to give it intent. The intent I'm going to use is something called the flame of the Swef. Don't bother asking what that is. That's a particular energy that was developed for me by my guides, and this is a general healing energy. So anybody who's listening, put your hands, if you're wearing a headset, great. If not, put your hands on the keyboard or just be close to the computer. If you're listening to this on a podcast, you're still going to feel it. So here we go. So we're going to use the flame of the Swef to do a mass healing for anybody who is listening. So the energy is now running. Let me know when you feel it tingle, Angela. Flame of the Swef. Do a mass healing. Oh, and there it goes. Okay, so the energy is now passing through the entire system.
Yeah.
It should happen pretty quick.
I can feel it in my arms right now.
Yeah, you're going to feel tingle probably from your fingers up your arms a little bit. Some people might get a pulsing. Some people might feel a little dizzy. But you're going to feel something happening.
Yeah.
So now within the next 24 to 48 hours, you might feel some changes happen. You might feel some changes happen. We call it shifting. So you might notice some things happening as all of a sudden you're having several. So like, whoa, what was that? You feel a wave go through your body or something. So just be mindful of that if you're taking in this energy.
Cool.
Way cool. Angela, I got the greatest job in the world.
I'm so proud of you for finding, yourself and helping people. I mean, that's so ridiculously awesome. And I'm honored to have you as my guest today. And also just, it's been a while. So, wow, now I'm feeling this weird. Okay, so I took my hands off my headphones where they were tingling and et cetera. And now I'm feeling like this weird, not a heavy bad weight, but I'm feeling this weight in my forearms that is it's moving up my arms right now. It's very interesting. So I can look at the show's over too. Chris, it's been a wonderful, wonderful honor to have you as my guest today. ChrisKehler.net, everyone. That's ChrisKehler.net. Please do find yourself at that website and look at those products and think about the services. Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. Chris, thanks.
Thank you, Angela.
Okay, see y'all soon. I'll be back tomorrow. You know where you are. You know why you're here. Bye-bye.
Listen to Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com. We'll be right back after this message.